It would be great to have someone who could do our work for us, right? Someone to prevent us from making mistakes. Someone to assist with our routine professionally and allow us to devote our time to communicating with our closest people. If only we could get results without wasting our time for nothing. Unfortunately, it's impossible in real life. But wait, Light Forex Social Trading. Spend your time doing what really matters to you.
Hello ladies and gents, 18th of April 2019. It's 2 minutes past 2 again, 2 past 2, CET time of course. This is the New York Open live market coverage. My name is Piotr and this is the Light Forex Global YouTube channel. Finally, something has happened. A little bit of the dollar movement and yen as well. So a little bit of risk off. But before we jump on the platform, let's have a risk warning in place. Alright guys, please bear in mind, trading FX, crypto on margin carries a high level of risk. May not be suitable for all investors. You can sustain a loss of some or all your initial investment, so please do not invest the money that you cannot afford to lose. Okay, that's last meeting this week ahead of the Easter here in Europe and a bit of a long weekend. Almost around the globe, especially tomorrow guys. So we are going to discuss this, especially tomorrow. Looks like only New York guys are going to cover Friday afternoon. So I would be very careful. It's gonna be very easy to be trapped. Looks like we have the bank holiday all around the Europe, also Canada on a bank holiday, and we do have tomorrow building permits, housing starts out of US only, right? Taking into consideration today's weak German Manufacturing PMI and taking into consideration the breakdown finally we've seen, and I told you that we might try to take out at least the stops to test the green possible demand. We went even below Friday, Thursday low, right? Now, the question is about today's US data. It looks like US retail sales expectations are much higher than what we get last time. Philly Fed manufacturing expectations a bit lower. Weekly jobless claims, very strong number last week below 200. And then all of this 230 CET, then 345 flash manufacturing and services PMI out of US. And that's gonna be key. So if somehow we are going to see stronger US data. We might have today, tomorrow, one-way ticket to the downside on euro dollar. Especially if we are going to close below yesterday and day before low, right? So it might be some attempt to rally back and through this weekly blue trend line. And we discussed it earlier today during the morning meeting. We discussed this possibility based on this falling channel. We discussed this in size moves, and this 111, 110 might be in play after the breakout seen earlier today, breakdown actually. Also, I mentioned it earlier this week that there was a Nordea Markets, there was a Morgan Stanley who went long, right? Also, other guys were complaining about the expensive dollar, but it was the same situation we had in the fourth quarter of 2018. Some big names were shouted around the day selling dollar, and to be honest with you, dollar was stronger, right? Looks like it might be the case this time as well. So, trying to add one thing into what we discussed earlier today during the morning meeting. This is the not last one, but the one before range after the ECB day, 7th of March, right? So we took today, just today, we took two important levels over here. So maybe 1176, the low after this ECB, and the low from the 2nd of April, right? The bears may consider attack here, right? We'll see. I have no idea what's going to happen here. But if euro will stay weak, and looks like we got a little bit risk off right now, it might be, instead of euro dollar, EURUSD might be a little bit better choice. And again, we are discussing this, so we do have this breakdown through 2618. Waiting for a rally back. Of course, I'm not sure if it's going to happen, right? But that's what I'm waiting for a rally back towards 2618, or maybe even 2630 to 2650, to have a possibility to try to fade that rally, right? Still first target around 2540. Okay, it doesn't look like they want to pop here. We'll see. So we know what is going on euro. On euro, I'm waiting for eventually for a retest of this broken 1282, 1290, the yellow one. So the retest, and maybe again lower. We'll see. So overall, as you can see, euro is weak like dollar versus Canadian dollar. We are awaiting Canadian data as well. Canadian retail sales. Looks like it's easier for them without me to trade higher. We have this equal top over here. We discussed it yesterday. and we do have the real supply a little bit higher. That's what we discussed yesterday. Unfortunately I missed that long. Actually, maybe it's not it's not a great saying that I missed. It was we discussed this yesterday, this supply which has been taken out, consolidation, but it was very late, right? So here around the Europe Open we saw only rally without the looking back. So yeah, it's hard to say I missed because I saw it, but it was for me not that part of the day I would like to trade Canadian dollar, right? And then we never looked back. So right now we have rally, this base, continuation. So let's have a look what we can get in eventually if we are gonna to see the pullback here. Smaller time frame. Yeah, that's the breakout. Jeez, it's gonna be challenge. I'm not sure if we are gonna be able to join that party. So briefly, we know what is going on euro dollar, euro yen, dollar Canadian. Dollar yen didn't actually hit that supply discussed during the morning meeting. Right now the idea is off because of US data within the next 15 minutes. This megaphone formation here might be still in play, right? We hit that level, but I'm awaiting this demand a little bit lower. So still we might get there. And I am wondering what's going to happen here, because in terms of the UK data, it was the big beat, right? The retail sales. And the previous one was also revised higher. But it's still pound and it's still Brexit, right? So it's most probably, at least for now, I'm gonna to skip British pound. At least for now. That's, yeah. If I cannot, because we are testing 30.2970, right? So and taking into the consideration what is going on euro, we might see attempt to break lower right here. Crude. That's what I'm gonna wait and watch. Retesting supply after yesterday data, but this triple or quadruple top here, it's too clear. I would say that we might see attempt to break higher and then stronger move to the downside. Still think that we might see at least these levels, and with this line over here, yeah, that looks nice from the risk reward perspective. So I'm going to watch crude. There is a little bit of turnaround on crude, but it's not translating into what is going on USD CAD, right? If we are going to get the beat in US, we might see attempts to break through this supply, not only the one over here, but also through this. We'll see, because that would be the third touch over here. But if you remind yourself the aggressive sell-off seen yesterday, 1 hour after the US Open, during the 1 minute, right? Looks like someone knew something well in advance. Yeah, let's have this US data as fast as we can. Otherwise, we might not see. And yeah, with good US data, we might see pop on dollar yen. It might help pop on euro yen. Otherwise, yeah, we are falling hardly right now. It looks like they may want to hit the first target without me. Mer, congratulations, you were short dollar yen as far as I remember, right? Canadian, yeah, that's what we discussed a second ago. That's what we discussed yesterday. I wouldn't say I missed that, but it was not my part of the day. I've been explaining this one. Now, depends on the Canadian data. We may also try to switch to CAD yen. Remember the failure yesterday? And it's only lower since then. Cool, congratulations, congratulations. As we have a few minutes, let's have a look what's going on the yield side. Looks like we are pulling back below 240 on 2 years yields, and that's not a good sign, but let's face it, that was the cleared supply. So if we are gonna to close below 237, we might see more sell-off towards 230, but still that's gonna be a retest of this trend line we have here. That's not necessarily good from the dollar yen perspective. tens, we took out this supply, so on tens that's where we should find the support right now, right towards 254, 250. $265 key to the upside. And 30s, same as tens. So looks like we got a little bit weaker yields on the shortest. Tens and 30s looks still good. Dollar Swiss franc, we are testing strong level. Euro cat, there was a supply yesterday and then I didn't check that one. Looks like was here, it was here, yeah, and it was as far as I remember that trend line. So we took out that supply and trying to, even we saw the rejection after the German weak data, but still trying to hold above this trend line. But it's not because of the stronger Canadian dollar, it's overall because of the weak euro. So still they are trying to hold this 150 psychological level. Maybe some kind of the move like this. We'll see what we are gonna to get out of Canada in terms of the retail sales. Less than 5 minutes left. The worst thing, if we are gonna to get weak US numbers, then there are gonna be mismatch on euro dollar and pound dollar, maybe pound dollar, maybe we'll see some rally on pound dollar in that case. The initial reaction on the dollar yen probably is gonna be to the downside. I don't know if we are gonna to see the strong breakdown on dollar yen. So again, I don't know, maybe that helps and we might see some rally on euro yen with euro dollar pop. It's gonna be challenged today. And especially because of the long weekend, right? And remember what we discussed. Remember what we discussed on Nasdaq, right? Look what is going on. We took out yesterday low, and we are above the entry, right? So all these pre-market open sellers are trapped right now. Just if you haven't watched the morning meeting, go to the archive on the Global Light Forex channel and watch our morning meeting. Sellers are trapped here. Pre-market, all these Asian and half of the Europe sellers, they are trapped already, if they are not stopped out yet. There's some news from Reuters in regards to Bank of Japan. So Bank of Japan to project inflation to fall short of its 2-point target through the 3-year ending in March 2022. Likely to project inflation in fiscal 2021 to move above 1.5, but fall short of 2. May slightly cut economic growth inflation forecast for fiscal 2019. But that's what we are going to get. That's Reuters citing sources. I hate when there is a sources instead of the name, right? Sources. It's immediately remind me about the Wall Street movie with Michael Douglas, the first part. Sources. Anyway, let's have a look what we are going to get from US and Canada. Dollar yen. Very strong. We beat the high expectation when we are talking about the retail sales. So 1.6 expectations 0.9, prior minus 0.2. X autos 1.2, 0.7 expectations, prior minus 0.4. X gas autos 0.9 versus minus 0.6 prior. Control group 1% versus 0.4 expectations prior minus 0.2. Very strong. Canada, good as well. Pound 130. Dollar yen 112. Pound hit the stops. More stops to come probably. Philly Fed a bit weaker, but new orders 15.7 versus 1.9 prior. Employment 14.7 versus 9.6 prior. Prices paid 21.6 versus 19.7. So why the whole number is weaker when the most details are stronger? Inflation expectations a little bit weaker. Philly Fed not bad. The details are good. Strong. That's what we discussed. If we are gonna to get good number, it might be one-way ticket till tomorrow or Monday for US dollar. So the only thing is PMI manufacturing and services 345 within an hour and 12 minutes from now. Jobless again below 200k. Everything super hooper today. All good for greenback. We are testing strong level on euro dollar 1240. Trying to get back above 30 on pound. Dollar yen for now we tested the daily open over here. That's what we discussed during the morning meeting. And a little bit of the rejection over here. But it might be the retest of the broken supply. And it might be continuation to the upside. That's the broken supply. Nasdaq retesting. That's what we discussed. Retest. We'll see. Stop buy through 50.80. So through this zone over here. This is 50.80, right? Once we are gonna hit that zone over here, I'm going to watch EURUSD. What is important that finally we got some moves, that's good. So we need the good print at 345 and we good. At least for now holding 130, but I'm not sure if the pound USD long is a good choice. If you remember, and if the dollar yen will hold the ground, if you remember what we discussed yesterday in regards to pound yen, if you remember what we discussed, there was they were trying yesterday move through this yellow zone, but then it was this trend line. I had this trend line, I drew the channel, and at some point I've mentioned that, all right, I want to see strong, in that case, if they cannot break from here, I want to see strong move to the downside. I've mentioned that I want to see the parabolic channel. Now we got that. Now we got that. So in that case, let's find out, let's try to figure it out where we have the support on the pound yen. Possible demand over here. Yeah, so we have a possible demand over here. So in case we got the combination of the good retail sales from UK, we've got the very good US data. So what we want to see dollar yen higher, and we want to see consolidation on the pound above 130. We don't want to see the breakdown here. So then and only then pound yen got the chance to rise. It might be better choice. I don't want to bet against the dollar right now. I'm not sure if it's a good idea to try to bet against the dollar right now. Maybe after 345 the situation will change 180 degrees, but not for now. So it might, if we hold, it might be pound yen. It might be pound Swissy, for example. where we are on pound Swissy. But I think we don't want to bet against the dollar right now. So let's give them the chance to close the early candles. So first time today our bar is open. Coffee, tea, non-alcoholic drinks, guys. Charts are staying with us. I'm gonna be back after a short break around the top of the hour. Enjoy your break.
It would be great to have someone who could do our work for us, right? Someone to prevent us from making mistakes. Someone to assist with our routine professionally and allow us to devote our time to communicating with our closest people. If only we could get results without wasting our time for nothing. Unfortunately, it's impossible in real life. But wait, Light Forex Social Trading. Spend your time doing what really matters to you.
Alright, welcome. It's second part of our today's afternoon meeting. We are covering New York Open. Very strong US data. So dollar is gaining the ground. Of course, it's best looking with euro dollar and dollar Swiss franc. With the pound, we've got a little bit lower shadow over here. So bulls on the pound trying to hold 130, 129.70, and that's telling us that, for example, euro pound Swiss franc might be a better choice. We've got a little bit of the upper shadow here on the dollar yen as well, so that's telling us that, yeah, because of the yields probably dollar yen a little bit softer. Now I would like to see if during the pullback we are going to hold this 1188. Just a reminder, 345. So around our next break we are going to get US Manufacturing and Services PMI, and that's gonna be key, and that's what we discussed during the first part. Canadian dollar, I think that, yeah, probably we are gonna to see the stop count. We hit the possible demand we drew here. There's a little bit, yeah, this one, yeah. And as long as we are above 30.65, 20 pips, and to the upside 15.30, just a little bit lower, around 75 on this lower shadow, I would consider longs, because from the risk reward perspective the current situation is not in my favor, right? Okay, what I'm talking about, stop has to be below 66, so let's say 65, so to 88, 23 pips, and to the upside we've got 32, so it's just 1-to-1. I don't like it, so maybe we will retest a little bit lower levels, but because, yeah, I think we are gonna to look for that liquidity. Just this 77. Ay. Monitoring. Very interesting situation on oil. So we hit supply and engulf. But that was here, the breakdown. So I would like to see how we are gonna to behave here. 63.72. We should hold that level to retest this supply eventually. Yeah, we'll see. Now, if you remember euro dollar from the weekly chart perspective, the line we hold here, we are retesting that line again. Now, one more thing based on the weekly. Last week low, 12.11. Based on this swing low, 12.06. So we might try to hit 12.06. Take out the stops from last week low. So what was the highest after the PMI? That was the biggest correction over here. So once we are gonna to start move to the upside, we'll see if we can use this supply, intraday supply, based on the size of the correction. If we can join the parity to the upside for the final push towards 12 in that move. No, Mer, I mean, I wanna see the. I'm not sure if it's going to happen. We don't even break the trend line. What I'm looking for a rally, but as a correction only, taking into the consideration the size of the move here, to try to join the short side like this. I'm not sure if we are gonna to bounce from here or we are gonna to bounce from a little bit lower levels. Just to be clear, pound trying. Doesn't look good on weekly, but still today and tomorrow. I'm watching this pound yen. Maybe somehow I will be able to join that party. Let's have a look what we have inside the news services, if there is something new. Just a reminder, at 4 option expiration, 12.50 on euro dollar. So we might see the bounce towards this level. But before option expiration, we have this flash of manufacturing PMI and flash services. So it should be weaker to see euro dollar pop into the option expiration. Test, 1, 2, 3.